All right, what is good, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Brand Review Show, where we review brands, their social media, their advertisements, their brands, email marketing, everything regarding the back end of the brand, and our opinion, or my opinion behind it, or of it, rather. So, we're going to start with none other than arguably the biggest brand in the world currently, or top 10, Nike. They're extremely well flourished across the social media channels, their organic reach, their jab, 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 right hooks, as Gary Vee puts it, is phenomenal, meaning that they don't really put content or a lot of content on their social media platforms of like, hey, buy this, buy now, buy now. It's literally a lot of their content is focused around, a lifestyle and sports and a movement rather, not just about buying their product, which I think is really cool. And maybe it's something that can they can really afford because they're a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Hopefully I got that right. But today we're gonna really explore there's different social media channels, what they offer, what they do differently, and then we're gonna look into their ad strategies, more specifically their ad library on Facebook to see how their ads really look like, and maybe how they're different from the competition. Of course, that Nike swoosh is worth so much money. A simple picture can probably generate a lot of money through a simple Facebook ad, but they're not like that. I think they offer a lot, and we're going to see their website, again, their social media channels, and their advertisements. So let's start with the website. If you're listening to this on a podcast, I'd recommend watching this on YouTube to get a better sense of what we're looking at right here. But if not, that's okay. I'll be as descriptive as possible so you can get an idea of what we're looking at um, and on why Nike is Nike, right? So, a little backstory. I don't know too much about the history of Nike, but I do know that, back in the day, Reebok was the number one sneaker company in the world. A bunch of athletes wanted, like NBA stars, wanted deals with Reebok and not Nike. Nike was just a company that made track shoes, not basketball shoes. But ever since they got Michael Jordan and he became a superstar, literally Nike has been number one ever since Michael Jordan. Um, it's just crazy the turnaround of Nike and Michael Jordan and where Reebok is right now, right? And ever since then, they've been like the market leader for sneakers and whatnot. All right, so let's look at their website. When I look at their website, it's very aesthetically pleasing, very clean. Um, and of course, it's Cyber Monday. So a lot of their content might be geared towards buying stuff. But again, their website is very easy to navigate, and I think it's super user friendly. And I think if you provide the path of least resistance, have a clean cut website, it'll be much easier for the customer to buy your product. And that's just my opinion, right? Um, I personally don't own or run an e-commerce store, so just take what I say with a grain of salt. But as a consumer myself, looking at the website right now, it's very clean, very easy to navigate, and with all the imagery, it makes you want to buy something, right? From a customer perspective, from a customer point of view, right? My perspective might be different from yours, so I highly recommend looking at their website from a customer and maybe an e-commerce entrepreneur perspective as well, right? So on the very first page, in their homepage, they have a shop button, and they say best Cyber Mondays or best Cyber Monday ever. Save up to 50% off. Use code Cyber. And the thing that's pretty standard uh, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, kind of have this on your front page in the very first header in terms of a discount for Cyber Monday and whatnot. But as we scroll down, we see a lot of good imagery. Suit up your squad, match sets coming in hot, perfect for kicking back or leaping over living room lava. So they definitely have some good copywriting there, in my opinion. Now, I don't really necessarily know what this means, but I don't know what matching. So if we go to a shop right now, let's take a look. Okay, that's what I expected. So they're kind of making this header or um, this section of their website geared towards products that are for the cold. Because right now, when I click on it, they're featuring like sweatpants, hoodies, fleece sweaters, etc. And looking at these product photos, it's very basic. Again, it matches the aesthetic of their brand, of their website. It's all black and white. Um, it makes the person who's wearing the clothing very in front, very visual, and it gives you a better perspective of what they're wearing. And I think this is typical of clothing brands. This is nothing crazy, honestly, but I just like the aesthetic and how clean cut it is as a customer. Um, that's one thing I had to say about it. So as you scroll down again in their homepage of their website, they have not only just photos, but they have a mini video, and it makes the whole website experience very, very, I think, experiential and fun to kind of consume. Honestly, this video right here, even though it's short, kind of captivates my attention, in my opinion, right? And they have a bunch of buttons that say shop here, gifts under 50 and under, gift that always fits, gifts $100 and under. So I'm seeing right here, whenever I scroll down, there's a lot of shop buttons. So there's like a lot of call to actions. So I think if you're a brand, definitely as you scroll down through your homepage, you don't want to have one or two shop buttons. You want to have that as much as possible because you don't want the customer, I think, to just scroll all the way up to find that shop now button. It's going to be easy to find all across the website, right? And then as we go down, we see a collection of sneakers, trending, um, a collection with different brand, AJ11 or 6, I think. I don't know my Roman numerals. And they have so much imagery across different products, clean aesthetic, and a lot of content too. Um, that fills the page, but it doesn't look like it's so super congested, which I think is very, very cool. So that goes for their website. And then, now let's kind of go on their social media channels. Let's go on Twitter right now. On Twitter, actually, as a matter of fact, let's go back to their website and let's see how many monthly active users are on the website every month. So this is crazy. They get over 100 million visitors over every month. So, for example, on August 2021, they had 130 million visitors. Um, September 2021, 110 million, and then October 2021, 106 million. And I use SimilarWeb to kind of get this information, and that's a lot of visitors. And if you kind of approximate, or maybe 0.01% of people who go on the website buy, then that's like literally what? That's so many people buying their products. So if you look, let's kind of do the math real quick. There are 122 million monthly visitors. Let's say 10. Let's say for a crazy conversion number is 10%. Let's just throw that number out there. 10% of the people who enter this website uh, purchase something. Then that means out of the 122 million people who have visited in July 2021, that means 12.4 people made a sale. Now made a purchase. Now, if you say 1%, that'll be 1.24 purchases. 1.2 22 million purchases. If you do 0.001%, that'll be 124,000 people making a purchase per month on Nike on the month of July 2021. So that's just absolutely crazy if you ask me. And again, that's just like a rough estimate. We're just throwing that number out there, but just saying, right? Just saying. So now let's go to their actual Twitter feed, their Twitter page. They have 8.8 million followers. What I love about Nike, which you will see across your different social media channels, is that when you go on it, you don't have that perception like, oh, they're not asking you to buy their product. They're just creating a lot of content centered around sports, motivation, inspiration, and whatnot, and kind of cool collaboration. So, for example, they have and I kind of covered this I think a little bit before, but Nike is collaborating with Roblox in terms of the metaverse, right? And this is crazy. That's really cool in my opinion. They have the person who's the founder of I think Off White recently passed away, Virgil Abloh, and they did a tribute or a really cool tweet about him. And as you scroll down, they make some really cool videos on sports, a really cool collage of like different things in the NBA. And they don't just show things about their product. It's just about the game. It's about the sports. It's about you know just being active. Then that's really cool. Like whenever I see, literally, I'm scrolling down their feed and I don't feel like they're trying to make me buy something, and that's really cool, right? I feel part of the brand just looking at these videos. I'm scrolling down, and there's literally still no call to action, right? And maybe they can afford that because they have different marketing channels just for that, and they're using social media as a brand, as a way to grow brand, and as a way to drive traffic to their website, right? And that's crazy. I'm still scrolling down, and I still don't see a call to action. So that's just on Twitter right there. Now, if we go to Instagram, they have 183 million followers. I think Ronaldo has the most followers. I might be wrong about that, but Nike's definitely top five in the most followers on Instagram. And again, if you scroll down their feed, it shows a bunch of people, a bunch of athletes, professional athletes, um, photos, mainly videos too. But when I scroll down, I don't see like a call to action. It's mainly about the what the brand stands for. Literally, motivation, sports, being active, being able to do things outside the limits of your body, and it's really cool. Like I love the content, and what I think is really cool is that their content is not only centered around athletes but everyday people as well. Because I think if you kind of have a product or a brand where you can relate to, then that really minimizes the gap between me and a LeBron James and a Ronaldo. But really, like, hey, I can wear this cleat too. My feet, I can put my shoes, or I can put my feet in these type of shoes, even though they're worn by a crazy athlete. I'm part of the game. I love the game. Just let me do it. Let me just put in that work, and that's what I get as a customer perspective, looking at the social media content via Twitter, via Instagram. Right now, if we go to, oh, I think I just exited out. On TikTok, they have 1.9 million followers, and this is where you see very different sort of content that's more related to the everyday person. So when you look on Instagram, a lot of the content is centered around athletes, professional athletes, and whatnot. But when you go on TikTok, it's geared to more everyday people um, in their respective sports. So you see basketball, you see weightlifting, you see running, dancing, roller skating, and these are like I'm looking at the feed right now, and it's like everyday people posting content, and this is like good user generated content, and that word has been thrown out a lot, especially entrepreneurs who have been on this podcast, and they know these brands know how important user generated content is, because if everyday people are wearing these sort of products, that kind of adds more relatability for the consumer, for the viewer, and be like, hey, I can wear this too. It's not just an athlete, or not just for professional athletes, but for me as well, right? The everyday person. So they definitely incorporate a lot of user generated content, and this is why they're killing it on TikTok as well, right? Now let's look at another social media platform that that's really underrated in my opinion as well. So it's Pinterest, and on Pinterest they have 817,000 followers, 10 million plus monthly views. When you look at their content on this, it's mainly static images, and this is where you kind of see more call to actions and whatnot. Right now, I'm unable to see their ads, but I can definitely see their organic posts. It's very visual. It's very cool, and you know, I'm pretty sure this alone drives a lot of traffic to their website, and then from that, they get a lot of conversions, right? But what's really amazing is that I've been on, like, we've seen their Twitter, we've seen their Instagram, we've seen their TikTok, now we're seeing their Pinterest. A lot of their content is very sort of um, unique to its perspective or to its unique platform. So it's unique content and its own respective platform. These sort of pictures I didn't really see on Instagram or TikTok, of course, or on Twitter. I'm pretty sure they do cross at some point, but for the most part, all this content is unique to its respective platform, and that's really important, I think. Um, Especially if you're this big and you can kind of afford to create these sort of advertisements or posts, because they're not just a company that sells shoes and merch, but they're a media company around sports and motivation, in my opinion, and that's what makes them great. Now let's kind of go to their real conversions, their advertisements on Facebook. This is where I think they make a lot of their money. Maybe apart from Google AdWords, um, maybe even Amazon, etc. Their website, etc., etc. So I just want to look at their ad and see what it looks like. So we're gonna see, for example, and keep in mind they have a lot of ads running, right? So let's look at this one right here. Boom. It's a woman who's wearing shoes outside. And here's the copy. The short copy is the perfect finish to any outfit. Plus, it's always $100 and under. So I think it's a really simple, creative, and as you can see right here, if you're watching the video, they're incorporating a simple image. They have a carousel ad, and if we scroll down, they do have some videos, some simple videos too, but mainly what I see are the static images, right? They have one ad that's like a quote from someone, kind of like a user generated content static creative. This is from Emmanuel. Simple and versatile. Catch blazer lows on my feet every day. So that's user generated content, a clean cut picture of someone wearing the shoe, looking at the camera. Very bright, very aesthetic, in my opinion, right? They have one sort of what is it, 1080 by 1920 dimension video ad. Let's take a look at it. It's kind of like a GIF rather of 8 seconds. Swipe up to shop. So I guess it's like an Instagram swipe up ad. That's a really hard call to action. They have another video of a recycled shoe that's made of 20% recycled content. It's like a GIF as well, not a full formed video. They're being very creative with it, and I think they're experimenting with a lot of marketing material here. So we're seeing again static images, collabs, or not collabs, but carousel ads, GIFs, kind of like a lot of photos in once. It's not a video per se, but just a collection of photos. More carousel ads, a lot of static images, videos. But actually, this is kind of surprising. Most of the videos are just comprised of um, layers of different photos, kind of like a GIF per se, right? And then they have one video is just like a collection of a shoe with the white backdrop showing all the different angles of a Nike brand or a Nike shoe, right? And they have all these were launched in November 2021. All these different creatives, and that goes to show like they're just experimenting many creatives to see what worked. And this is only on Ads Manager, what they show on Facebook and Instagram. Who knows what they're doing on Google Ads? What else? Like probably like YouTube. And, like these are paid ads. This is what I'm talking about right now. Pinterest. I already said pay-per-click ads on maybe Google, etc., etc., and that's really dope. Now, if we go to their actual um, YouTube channel, this is like a TV channel, and they're very active on it. They have 303 videos, 1.6 million followers, 1.67 million followers. Their most recent video was 13 hours ago. The second most recent video was 2 days ago. Let's see. I think they make it like at least one video every week. So if we go to their videos, let's see. Yeah, so they make at least what from what I'm seeing right here, at least 2 to 3 videos every week, and it's centered around fitness, around athletes, and not just their products. This is a media company that happens to sell shoes. That's the best way to put Nike, and this is why I think they're winning the game right now in terms of brand. That Nike swoosh is worth so much money, and this is what I love about Nike. They're not just pushing down content to buy their shoes, but pushing down content in terms of value, in terms of determination, motivation, and fitness in general. So this is definitely 5 thumbs up for Nike, and it's really dope what they're doing. And this is why they're one of the biggest brands as of this moment of all time. And you can definitely learn a lot if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur from Nike. So I think that was a very simple run through of Nike and its brand. Didn't dive too deep on its advertising strategies, kind of giving an overview on its website, its omni-channel approach, its social media channels, what they're doing, what poster they're putting up, simple ad strategies, I think, or its marketing material. its call to action and whatnot. Um, so maybe later we can go more in depth on what you're doing to get those conversions. But for now, we kind of just give a simple overview of these brands, and we'll continue doing that with other popular ones as well. So with that being said, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. You took note of it, and until next time.